Let's get good. I am the Gamer Under Development, and this is Legends of Runeterra. We are back with a new Decktech today. This is going to be one we're taking into AI because I haven't tested it thoroughly enough that I feel comfortable playing it against people yet, but we'll get there, we will. And I actually really enjoyed the couple test games I ran before this recording, just to make sure that it does have the synergy I'm looking for. We call this deck Luck of the Draw. We start, as always, by taking a look at our curve. We have a pretty strange curve here. It's a little bumpy. I know it probably seems a little weird, but have a little faith, guys. Have a little faith. I promise this will pay off. Alright, so we're going to go through the deck here real quick. We have the Pool Shark, which will allow us to draw an extra card the turn after we play it. We've got the Dreadway deckhand, which we used before on our last deck because it does produce that Powder Keg, gives us a little bit of extra damage. So it's kind of value because it does give you 2 bodies for 2 mana, and at the same time, that second body can help with a little bit of extra damage. We've got the Greenglade Lookout here, which when he strikes, he reduces the cost of the most expensive unit in your hand by 1. That is actually to kind of help balance out this higher end stuff in our curve. For the most part, we want to be playing within this 2, 3, 4 mana curve. We have Insight of Ages, which will allow us to get an extra spell in hand, or 2 extra spells if we reach the end game. This is a deck that contains Karma, so this card is particularly wonderful with Karma. We've got Key Guardian here, which will grant Barrier to an ally in hand and allow us to draw 1 card for just 2 mana. Very, very efficient card here that does a couple different things for us. Primarily, the draw is what we're after, though. Pocket Aces, just a nice card for us to draw. Gets a little bit cheaper if we do so. If we were to Pool Shark into it, for example, it would go down to 2 mana, which is great because it would be fleeting, it would cost 1 less, and it would be a burst spell that gives our allies a little boost. We've got River Shaper here, primarily to draw a spell. You're going to start to see a synergy here. We're looking for lots of draw. Shadow Assassin, a little bit more draw. Now you might say, if you're looking for lots of draw, why are we not playing Piltover? Because Piltover has the best draw. Well, maybe not the best, but the most draw. The problem with Piltover's draw is that Piltover's draw doesn't actually give you any board state. It's discard a card, draw some cards, that kind of thing. It doesn't actually generate board state very much. There's only one real board state card in Piltover that draws, and it's super late game, so it doesn't help us that much. These ones are able to give us draw, but also give us bodies on the board, which helps us stay alive. This is the core of the deck right here. Slotbot, round start, grant me +0/+1 for each card you drew last round, then shuffle my stats. This guy is a house. This guy is an absolute house. Our goal is to get him out early and draw as many cards as we can. We've got Shen in here to help protect Slotbot and to help protect Twisted Fate, who is the other core of this deck. When we play Twisted Fate, we automatically get a Destiny card, which is one of these 3 cards. We get to pick when we first play him which one we want. Usually we're going to take the blue card to get a spell mana back and draw an additional card, which will help power the Slotbot even more, which goes down the turn before Twisted Fate on a perfect curve. On an imperfect curve, we also have the option of dealing 2 damage and stunning the strongest enemy, or dealing 1 damage to all enemies and the enemy nexus, and I've actually been able to board sweep with this in a couple of games, which is kind of great. So Twisted is just huge, huge value. Should we level him up, which we do, by the way, by drawing cards, then we get the ability to play a random Destiny card for the first 3 cards that we play each round, which is why our curve is so low, is because once Twisted gets out, we want to be playing 3 cards a turn to get the extra value out of Twisted, and 9 times out of 10, that's going to turn the game in our favor. So as you can see, that's why this deck is called Luck of the Draw, is it's primarily functioning around that draw, and you do kind of need to be lucky to get the right combination of cards for it to work. We've got the Zap Sprayfin in here. He is elusive and attuned, which means we get a spell mana back, which will help us with casting multiple spells in the turn. Even though he's 4 mana, he's basically only 3, and he is elusive, so he helps us get that last bit of damage in, but when he's summoned, you draw a spell that costs 3 or less from your deck, so once again, draw. Then we've got Karma here, create a random spell in hand at the end of the round. That actually doesn't necessarily trigger draw effects, so that's not going to have as much synergy as I'd like. But at the same time, her Enlightened effect is when you play a spell, cast it again on the same target. So we do get some value out of her in the late game, especially with cards like Double Up here. Double Up we used in our last deck. I really like this card. It deals damage and potentially kills a unit, but it also nails the Nexus. And if you have Karma out and it has 4 health, then you can kill it and hit the Nexus with just 1 of these. You won't get 8 damage on the Nexus, unfortunately. You'll still only get 4, but you will be able to drop something that's a little bit bigger, so Karma and this synergize pretty well. And then we have 1 Ritual of Renewal in case we have a slow start to help us get back in the game. That'll heal our Nexus for 7 and also allow us to draw 1 card, unless Karma is out and enlightened, in which case it'll heal our Nexus for 14 and allow us to draw 2 cards. Very, very powerful way to get back in the game. So that is what we're rolling with today. We're going to take this into the game versus AI right now. I'm going to check something real quick. I thought I had another Poro here. We're going to take that Poro. I like that Poro. I don't think I have any other boards or anything, though. Do I have any other backs? Not yet. Okay. So let's go in with Luck of the Draw, guys. I'm super excited for this. When I played it, I had a couple up and down games, right? So there were a couple games that were just real... Ooh, this might be a real rough one, actually. Because Z decks are generally aggressive. So if we don't draw into our low curve cards that we need to combo out early, that might be problematic. Here we do pretty good though. We get River Shaper and Green Glade Lookout. I'm gonna pass back the Key Guardian and the Ritual of Renewal and see if we can maybe pull a slot bot. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're off to the races. Oh, and a Shen to top it off. That's very nice. We don't have a lot of 1-drops in this deck, so we're not gonna really get down early and be aggressive. But because we started with the attack token, it doesn't really matter. We don't need that 1-drop here. Instead, we can just go ahead and 2-drop our Green Glade Lookout, put it in front of that guy, trade off here, and then reduce the cost of something in hand, which is going to be very useful. Not really worried about this guy's support. Giving lifesteal is not a huge thing for us. We don't really care about that. By the time that's going to be relevant, we should be turning the game around and really swinging it in our favor anyway. Shen goes down to 3, which is awesome for us. And we're already on 3, so it's time to put out our slot bot. And things are going to get real fun real fast. Because this also counts the draw from your turn, so he automatically gets bigger every turn no matter what you do. Which is really nice. Now here we see just a 1 increase in attack. I'm totally fine with that. We actually do have a Twisted we can put down as well. So now we're left with a couple of different decisions to make here. We can just absorb damage, we can chump block and Twisted. I think we'll chump block and Twisted. Actually, I think we'll just Twisted. And here's why. Because if we Twisted, we can red card and kill 2 of their minions. Just like that. Bye-bye! Twisted is such good value, guys. Such good value. And we're absolutely fine blocking here. If they do want to pump him to trade, then we'll trade, and we'll have to put out another slot bot. That's fine. Oh, that's unfortunate right there. That is actually real unfortunate for us. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably could have just held our slot bot, but it's okay. I mean, we have Twisted out. We're working towards our combo pretty efficiently here. Oh, and now we get Karma too? That just seems like real strong stuff right there. Let's go ahead and put out Slotbot. Alright, Herald of Spring is fine. You can have that. Now the question here is, do we want to go in with Twisted, because we do have Pocket Aces up our sleeve, or we could just Key Guardian here. And I think what we'll do is we'll probably just Key Guardian, and we'll put it on the River Shaper. The reason for that is because then we can block with the River Shaper to draw a card and still have him survive, so that we can use him again to potentially draw a card. I'm not going to go in with Twisted here, because there's really no point. There's no point. Like, we don't gain that much. We could potentially trade, but they could also cast a spell and trade positively, and that wouldn't benefit us any. So there's just no point.
What did we get?
Oh, look at that. He's a 3-2 now. We're going to win this game by outvaluing them, so we don't need to rush super hard at their face or anything crazy like that. That's honestly not very viable or smart with this deck. With this deck, we kind of want to slow play it a little bit. We want to slow our roll, just go in. I made the mistake by even blocking with Slotbot there. That was just a big mistake on my part. Okay, so this guy is a concern because he'll keep reducing the cost of their cards, so I'm going to go ahead and block him. We could block with Slotbot here. We do have Pocket Aces as a backup, but honestly, I don't think it's necessary. So I'm just going to take the 4. Taking the 4 isn't a big deal. Oh, they're going to recall him. That's unfortunate. That's actually very, very unfortunate for us. Means we don't get the extra draw there that we had hoped for. However, the good news is we do have the ability to then play him again. We could also play the Dreadway Deckhand, which would power up our double up here. Or we just drop Shen. And I think we'll just drop Shen here to get some extra value out of our Slotbot, because Shen can then go in, give him barrier, and now he's a beater instead of just somebody sitting on our bench. Alright, let's see. What do we want to do? So many options, guys. Actually, we could put the River Shaper out and go in with Shen and the River Shaper and get another draw to just keep powering up our slot bot. That's not a bad idea.
Within the flows of magic.
And if we do that, we still have enough left so that we can go ahead and pocket aces if we want to. It may actually even be worthwhile to go in with the whole board here, since they potentially can't, you know, like, they're not going to be able to do something to everyone. They're not Demacia. They don't have anything crazy that's going to wreck us. I think we just go in with the whole board and see what they try to do. Because we do have pocket aces up our sleeve. That gives us a little bit more security than otherwise. Okay. I'm absolutely fine with this. I'm kind of amazed that that actually happened. I mean, we could also use this. This is a permanent +2/+1, so we could have just given it to Slotbot to increase his stats over time, but we don't really need to. Like, that's the real beauty of this right now, is that we don't need to do that. Let's go ahead and give it to the Greenglade Lookout, since he can reduce cost of cards in hand. That'll also allow us to draw another card, which is Pool Shark, which we'll play to get another draw next turn. And all of that's going to factor into triggering Twisted Fate's level up, as well as Slotbot. So this is really, really good for us right now. Yeah, this is going to be beefy. So we get that for the fleeting draw, then we get the regular draw. Twisted levels up. Welcome to our world. This is where the deck combos off, guys. I'm so excited. This is where it gets real, real fun. Twisted is off the hook when you get him leveled up. So the first 3 cards we play are going to automatically spawn a Destiny card. We do have to be careful about that. Like, we don't want to double up on one of these guys, because if we do, there's a real chance that he'll pull the red card and kill them before this goes off, and then it just fizzles. So we want to be careful about things like that. Here, I might actually even go with Shadow Assassin instead, just because it's fleeting and we want to make sure we actually cast it. That's going to give us blue card here, which is going to let us refill 1 spell mana and draw another card. This is going to continue to power our slot bot up. And yeah, we're just... This is it, folks. We're comboing out now. Now we can kind of chump block with whatever we want. We can kind of do whatever we want. Anything we do here is the right answer. Bar potentially killing our slot bot here by blocking with it. I mean, honestly, though, let's see. No, I don't want to take the risk with the slot bot block. What I will do is I'll block with Twisted here, because we can go ahead and use... Wait, where'd it go? There it is. Pick 8 or pocket aces here. So we don't need to yet unless they buff it. But if they do go ahead and buff, we can pocket aces, and that'll give us all we need to protect him. Oh look, we drew another pocket aces. How lovely is that? Okay, so we basically just traded positively there in every single way. And we are really, really set on draw. Like, we drew a lot of cards this turn. We may even potentially be able to get some more value if we go ahead and drop Karma here. I haven't yet seen if Karma's ability actually counts as a draw trigger. It may not. We'll have to see. Currently, we drew 5 cards this turn, so if at the end of the turn this goes up to 6, then we'll know that it does indeed count. This is actually really good right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We have to shuffle 1 card back into our deck. I'll go ahead and shuffle Pocket Aces, so that there's a chance that we can redraw that, and we will get another card. It is gold card. Since there's nothing left on the board, it doesn't really do anything. That's okay. You can't complain when you're getting free value. So they do have a ton of mana left over, but it doesn't really matter because we have out-card advantaged them to the umpteenth degree. So that did not count as a draw for us, unfortunately. We got +5 to our slot bot there, though. He's now a 7/7, and you can kind of see why this is so strong at this point. We could Ritual of Renewal here. I mean, we might as well, actually. Let's Ritual of Renewal because it's fleeting, and we want to get our value out of that. We will get our health back. We will draw 2 cards now because we just triggered a blue card. So that means the slot bot will get +4 next turn. And we drew another slot bot. So this is where we have actually reached capacity on hand, and we really just need to go in with some of our cards. We do have some nice cards to back them up, though, so it's really not that concerning to go in, honestly, with everything. We're just going to do that. We are going to reposition a little bit, though, because we want to make sure that Shen goes in and protects somebody. Let's just pull them all off the bench for a moment. Let's go in and have Shen protect her. And then we can bring in Twisted and these other 2, and that's perfectly fine. We don't really need Shen to protect Twisted because we do have some pocket aces for Twisted if we need them. And honestly, even if they kill Twisted at this point, we've gotten so much value now, it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah. I'm kind of okay with this, but just because we can, we could always go ahead and throw pocket aces onto Shen. I don't think we need to, though. I think we'll just let it be. But yeah, this game is basically over now. There's almost no way to come back from being this far behind on card advantage and board advantage, or board... I guess it is board advantage. We can play the Dreadway deckhand, but I think we're actually going to lose the powder keg there. I was kind of waiting to play the slot bot, but here we actually kill their last minion. We get a damage on their Nexus. That was kind of a perfect draw for Twisted Fate there. And of course we get an additional spell. What was that, by the way? Make it rain. Deal 1 to 3 different random enemies. That's not good or anything, and we cast it twice now because Karma just leveled up. Are you guys seeing the problem with this right here? And look at Slotbot now. He's an 11-7. The last game I got him up to 18-18. Incredibly powerful. I mean, this is just hilarious here because we can just double up and kill him. Hope you have buffs because he's still dead. And we get a blue card. That's not strong or anything, guys. Not strong at all. So the second one fizzles because he dies. That's okay. We're not super worried about that. We could Insight of Ages here, which would give us 2 more cards, but I have a feeling one of those would be distinctly wasted. We can't actually play Slotbot. Or can we? Like, it's showing that we can drag him down, but I know for a fact that we're at the capacity right here. So that seems like a bad deal. Just go ahead and end our turn. We did draw 2 cards that turn, though. Slotbot is an 8-12 now. Just a meager 8-12, guys. Nothing scary there at all. Let's do this and win. I can't see any way we don't just win right here. Alright, so yeah. That was luck of the draw. What do you guys think? Slotbot, yes? Slotbot, yes. Twisted Fate, double yes. I really like Twisted Fate's mechanic in this. I like the added value. It is a little bit randomized, but that's not really a problem when you get that much additional value out of a card. Like, even if it goes wrong, it's right. Even if it goes wrong, it's right. We have a decent amount of time. I suppose we could try one against... Let's go take it out for one against a person and see how it does. Because that's the real test, right? Like, beating on an AI isn't really that tough. I'm confident, though. I have a good feeling that this is going to go well. It might not, though. I know there are some pretty crazy decks running around right now. I know, for example, that Noxus and Piltover is still one of the most powerful aggro decks in the meta currently because of the Boom Crew and all that. Okay. This is going to be a slower, more endgame deck. So this should be interesting. This will be an interesting test. I don't know how we fare up against the Tryndamere, to be honest. Let's send that back. Honestly, we can send most of these back. I'm fine with keeping the Shadow Assassin, because that at least guarantees we play something by turn 3. That's a lot better. That is a lot better, actually. They're going first, so getting a Pool Shark here is actually very useful for us. Gonna go ahead and throw that out. This is so cute. What's up, dude? I'm gonna poke you. Okay. Ending the round. And we get another Pool Shark. It is a fleeting Pool Shark off of a Pool Shark. Go figure. So here, I think we're just gonna double Pool Shark. I mean, they may play something in response. If they don't, we'll definitely double Pool Shark and go in. So here, if we attack with our Pool Sharks, we get 0 value whatsoever. So I don't know if I actually don't want to double Pool Shark here. I think I'll save the mana. Because if we double Pool Shark, we're going to get another fleeting card. We'll get 2 fleeting cards next turn, which isn't good because one of them will probably just get burned. We're definitely not going in on this guy, though, because there's just no point. We'd be throwing away one of our units for nothing. Alrighty. So now we're on 3. We can get our Shadow Assassin down. Seems good. Seems good. I'm more than happy to block with a Pool Shark here, even though we don't really need to. I mean, we could just let him through for 2 and not feel bad about it. Our Dreadway deckhand here is fleeting, though, so we may actually want to cast that. Starlit Seer. When you cast a spell, grant the top ally +1/+1. That's not great for us. We might want to interact with that, but I don't think we need to interact with that. I'm going to put the Dreadway deckhand out just because I can, and because it's fleeting and we'll lose it anyway. They may decide to attack the Powder Keg here. I doubt it, though. It is vulnerable, so they have that option. But I doubt they'll do that. doesn't really seem like the best plan ever. We don't really have a way to take advantage of our powder keg, though. So, yeah, we're not able to block with it either, apparently, which is... Oh, okay. That's interesting. Cannot add more blockers. Weird. There's nothing... Oh, it does have a can't block symbol. I just didn't notice that. Can't block, can't attack. Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do here is we're probably going to block here to actually get damage on him, and block here to get damage on this. We don't need to, but we're going to, because honestly, it doesn't hurt us to do this. Alrighty. Seems good. We may actually Key Guardian here on Twisted so that we can kind of protect him a little bit. Oh, I made a play error there. I made a big play error there. If I would have swapped those and dealt 2 damage to this, I could have killed it next turn when I played Twisted. So that's my fault for kind of botching that up. That makes this decision a little bit tougher. I think we still go with Twisted here, though. We're going to go ahead and give Twisted that barrier so we can put him out next turn and get some value out of him. That was a mistake. I really wish I'd have done the 2 there so I could have just killed it when I played Twisted, because Twisted's not going to be able to kill this because he'll absorb that 1 damage. Take 1 less damage from all sources. Yeah, I was hoping maybe it would say from combat. That would have been nice. You never can stop hoping, right? So we could zap Spray Fin here, which will give us back 1 mana and also draw a spell for us. But I'm not sure that that's ideal here. In fact, maybe we just... Let's do this.
The dark beckons.
Let's just Shadow Assassin to get an additional draw, and then we can Pool Shark. We don't have to put Twisted out yet. We can wait until we actually do get better value out of Twisted. Because right now, none of his cards would give us that much value. The additional draw is not going to help a slot bot. The stun isn't going to make a huge deal. And then dealing 1 to all enemies isn't going to do a lot either. Sure, that's fine. Feel free to waste the damage on that barrel that we weren't going to do anything with anyway. So what I'm going to do here is just go in for 2 with Elusive. That'll get us a nice little tap on them, and then we can put out our Pool Shark and be set up for next round, where we'll have a few more options. Potentially, because we will be able to block stuff and make decisions with that. Like, if they try to go in with the Avaros and Sentry, we don't actually have to block them. We can just play Twisted and kill him. Honestly, Twisted and kill is a pretty good theme for next round. Yeah, Twisted's red card's going to be really good for us next round. That, to me, is honestly the best card you can get out of him at 3 mana. That red card is extremely powerful at 3 mana. Hello there, Mr. Slotbot. We have been waiting for you. So if we don't play Twisted this round, we do play Slotbot. And if we do play Slotbot, we get some really, really good value out of him because next turn he's just going to get buffed for 2. That's a bit concerning. Thankfully, they don't have the mana for Demacia yet. Otherwise, that would be even more concerning. And now, I think we kind of need to play Twisted. Yeah, we're going to play Twisted, and we're going to go for the red card here. Going to spread damage across wide enough that it casts a net and helps us out. We will be able to chump block kill most of his units. We won't be able to chump block kill the Vanguard unless we block it with this, which means that we won't be able to chump block and kill the Vanguard Sergeant. So yeah. Yay, these elite units. They can be quite a pain. They're just well-costed units with decent stats. And Tough on this guy actually ends up being a huge inhibitor for a deck like ours that is more interested in the effects of the allies than the allies themselves. Okay. Well, that wasn't fortunate for us, but that's okay. We can still trade with that guy at a reasonable rate. Okay, you gonna do anything else, or can my spell go off now? Cool, thanks. Thanks. We do also have Twisted with a barrier here, which is very, very nice for us. So I suppose we could block with Twisted to kill something as well. They did save 4 mana. They are in Demacia and Freljord. I don't think Demacia or Freljord has like a plink for 1 type effect. So I don't think we need to worry about that barrier getting popped. Yeah, this is okay here. This is okay. This is actually a profitable trade for us. Like, we don't mind going fairly even right here.
It's too late.
I'm actually fine with just going fairly even right here. Because we want to clear their board so that 4 Demacia loses value. Like, this is only good if they have a lot of allies on the board. If they don't have a lot of allies on the board, it doesn't really do anything. Oh, that sucks. That's not great. But it is what it is. So one of their guys survives. He is kind of a beefy guy, but that's okay. Alright. Good trades all around other than that one right there. And honestly, that one didn't cost us anything, so it's not really a bad trade as much as it wasn't a great, profitable trade. And I don't know what we're gonna do next turn. We don't really have anything great for next turn, and they are kind of setting up to use that for Demacia. But what you will notice is that we do have the card advantage. And the card advantage is always going to be huge. Card advantage is always key in card games in general. That's not gonna change right now by any means. So, honestly, we're in a pretty decent spot here. I'm gonna go ahead and put out Slotbot. This round is just about us getting bodies on the board. Slotbot is one of those bodies that's going to be really, really nice to put out there. River Shaper is another one that's going to be good to get out because it will give us some extra draw. And then we're going to put the ball in their court. They're probably going to 4 Demacia. Fortunately, 4 Demacia doesn't prevent us from chump blocking, and it doesn't give things Overwhelm. Although there are some Freljord cards that give Overwhelm, so that is something for us to keep in mind. Yeah, we're just going to River Shaper here and not worry about it.
Give it life.
And next turn, this guy's going to get +1 to his stats because we didn't really get to draw much this turn. It's okay, though. It's not the end of the world for us. Ooh, that Omen Hawk. So they're just trying to board up here so that we can't chump block enough. And that's a fair strategy. It really is a fair strategy. I don't know if it's actually going to pay off the way they think it's going to pay off, especially not since we can just eat 7 damage and be like, alright, cool, heal. Because that's going to be a big, big help for us right there. Like, we can literally just eat 7 here and not care at all. So that means we have to choose our most profitable blocks if we do block. And honestly, at this point, it's about getting them to blow that 4 Demacia and then mitigating as much damage as possible. Trying to keep as much of this combo alive as we can. I think we're in a decent spot here, though. I really don't think we're that bad off. River Shaper can do something for us. He can chump block and give us a card. We could Insight of Ages and see if we pull something or just play a Zap Sprayfin. I have a feeling we're probably just going to play a Zap Sprayfin here that just goes out as a chump blocker if they give us the chance to. If they just come in right now... Well, I mean, if they just come in right now, they don't get to 4 Demacia. Okay. So, by them playing 4 Demacia, we get the Zap Sprayfin here, which means we're in a fine spot. Really, we're just in a good spot. They don't get that much damage here, and we just recover from it with Ritual of Renewal anyway, so... Good job, guys. Good job. Unless they have a way to give something Overwhelm, we're in a totally fine spot right now. It's going to give us a spell mana back, let us draw a card. That's going to help Twisted get closer to leveling. Going to give our Slotbot a little something extra there as well. Okay. So, we're probably going to take 11 here. That seems pretty clear. I guess 10. 10, not 11, but still. Fine with it. Not really worried about that at all. If anything, I'm more tempted to go ahead and throw the Pocket Aces on something. Although, honestly, if I'm going to Pocket Aces anything this round, it's probably going to be the Slotbot just to give him more stats to shuffle. That could actually be really, really strong here. So could this, though. I think I'm going to play this just to get the extra draw.
Gotta trust your
Let's wait. We don't need to do that right now. We'll just take the 10 here for right now. That's fine. Okay, chump block 1, chump block 2, draw another Pocket Aces that is only 2 mana. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. Now we're gonna do this. So our Slotbot just got a lot more stats to shuffle. Therefore, Demacia is gone. He's now a 5/8. Like, there's no way that's not just good for us. So here we could just flat out Ritual of Renewal to heal ourselves. It's not a terrible idea, but it's also not necessarily the best play. And the reason it's not necessarily the best play is because we do have these other options, right? We could go ahead and play our Key Guardian on our Zap Sprayfin, then play our Zap Sprayfin. That's going to cost us 6 mana, but give us 1 spell mana back, which will leave us with 3 mana, so we could then use Twisted Fate's pick a card. That is going to leave us a little bit exposed where we might not get Ritual of Renewal out, but I don't think they can kill us before that goes off. So So we're gonna do this. Draw a card here. Beautiful. That's actually even better because now we can sneak a little bit of damage in if we go for this instead of the spray fin, as well as getting an additional draw. And Twisted is one draw away from leveling, so this is going to be really, really fun. When that last draw goes off, we're going to be able to kind of go in and just start to throttle them here. And I mean, that's, yeah. We're in a really decent spot now. That is a problem. That is a slight problem right there. That is actually a considerable problem now that I think about it, but at the same time, it's kind of okay. Like, we do have the ability to use our slot bot here if we need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cast this, and we'll just throw back an Insight of Ages for the moment. We will get 3 additional draws next turn, which means, once again, we have an insane card advantage. Now, we are kind of waiting them out. This is more of a control combo deck, so I wouldn't expect us to really be pushing or aggressive right now.
On a hot streak.
Because the best thing they could do here is play another 4 Demacia, and even if they do at this point, it's not what they think it's going to be. So yeah, we take 2 damage if we block with the slot bot now. We would lose the slot bot, but we'd also kill the Alpha Wildcat, which is totally fine. Okay, so now they're going to be setting up for that 4 Demacia. That's what that was. They're setting up for that big 4 Demacia, that big we're going to win the game play. So the one thing we need to do here is we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. And one of the ways we can do that is by casting Renewal here, which is also going to give us a blue card, which is nice, because that's going to give us spell mana back and allow us to draw an additional card. And that spell mana is primarily going to be useful because it's going to allow us to trigger Twisted again. But we did draw a 2-cost minion, so if they play 4 Demacia, we get to put another body out, which means that our chump blocking gets even stronger. Kind of okay with this. Kind of okay with this. Like, I may even eat a lot of damage off the Wild Claw and be alright. The real catch here is whether or not we can get enough bodies on the board to actually reduce our damage enough to survive. If we weather this storm, we're gonna be okay.
Stand strong.
Gosh, 4 Demacia is actually just really strong because they don't retain the damage either, which is somewhat problematic. We could put a Shen out. Well, I guess we couldn't put a Shen out because he costs 4. I guess the only real option we have to get a body on the board is this, but we do get a red card for that, which is nice. I would have preferred a yellow card here. A yellow card would have helped a lot more, to be honest. But it is what it is. So we've got to make sure that we absorb as much damage as possible from this guy, and then block as many units as we can. We're gonna get low here for sure, but we're not gonna die. So let's go for this,
Cannot escape.
this, and if I had a way to protect Twisted, I would block with him as well, but I don't. If they have a buff here, though, and I don't block with Twisted, they win. So that's actually kind of unfortunate here. Is there anything else we can really do that's going to help us out at this moment? The answer to that is no. So basically, we go in with Twisted, we risk losing, or we don't block with Twisted, and we risk losing anyway. They only have 3 mana left, though, but 3 is enough for them to pump something, so we do need to block. And I'm going to block... They're going to lose 3 at the end of this turn.
I'm sure.
I'm going to block here. Yeah, so we did have to give up Twisted there. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Perhaps we slow played a little too much there and should have gone in when the slot bot was a 5/8. It's okay. Mistakes may have been made. We'll see. This is not unrecoverable, mind you. This is not unrecoverable. It's not a good position for us to be in at the moment, but it's not unrecoverable. Okay, now it's probably unrecoverable. Let's see. What can we do here? So, we can get 3 damage off of that. Losing Twisted there was just really, really painful for us.
Be nothing left when
Go
I'm
here, get this. We are enlightened, so this will create 2 spells once they pass the priority back to us, which could actually save us. Depending on what this creates, that could actually save us. It's not likely, but it's possible.
No such thing as yet.
Okay. Let's Strong Arm, place a follower in play into your hand. That's not going to help me. Actually, if we do that with one of their followers, it might help. But yeah, it seems like we're not able to play this. You can't cast this at this time. Oh, that's because we have to plunder. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. So instead, I guess what we'll do here is if we go for the spray fin, we'll only have 5 left instead of 6. 6 will allow us to kill something, deal some damage to the Nexus, but it won't save us. Yeah, we're going to have to play the Zap spray fin here. Get lucky and pull some pocket aces there, which is nice. We could go in with the Zap spray fin, but they don't really need to block here, and it won't matter that much. I mean, we'll probably do it anyway, because it does have barrier, but I think they've got us this game. I think we're down too far. And I think that the crowning, like, I don't want to point it out to one thing, but I think the crowning mistake was that early block that I messed up and thus wasn't able to sweep half their board. Like, sure, that may not have been a huge factor, but I feel like that was probably a pretty big factor. Then again, my mentality about card games is generally that whoever makes the least mistakes wins. So by making that mistake, I'm assuming I have cost myself the game a little bit. Yeah, that's what it seems like. We do have a couple of elusives that can go in. I mean, we can get in and get our 4 damage here. It's not going to make a difference, but we'll try it. I suppose we could have gone in and then plundered, but even then, like, I don't think we get back out of this. We are in too rough of a position here. If we'd have kept Twisted that round, we would have had at least a chance here, but we didn't, and now we're not in a good, manageable place at all. Drawing isn't going to help us much here. Honestly, spending isn't going to help us much here either. We'll just wait it out. Yeah. There wasn't going to be anything we could draw here that would really help. The one thing I have considered with this deck, though, so I'm not surprised we lost our first player versus player game. That kind of happens. But the one thing that I would change, or I've thought about doing with this deck instead, is going Shadow Isles and... really me? Bilgewater. Going Shadow Isles and Bilgewater, because if you go Shadow Isles, you get more board sweeping stuff too for late game, but you also have their really powerful draw cards where you destroy a unit, draw 2 cards. Combining that with Pool Shark might work really, really well. So I think what my takeaway from this is that maybe we should give that a little bit of a try later on. I don't think that would be a terrible idea here. We're going to go ahead and double up. This is actually interesting, because if the double up resolves... Oh, it doesn't resolve fast enough. I was going to say if it resolved fast enough, well, we would need a slow to be able to do that anyway, so I guess not. Sure. Let's give them the GG symbol. They got us. They got us. Nothing we can do about that. We didn't even run into the Tryndamere, though. I'm honestly disappointed we didn't get wrecked by the Tryndamere, and them playing that to save a guy also didn't help us. All right. That was unnecessary, but sure. You can't even give me a little bit of damage on the Nexus. You gonna end it? You've won. I surrender. You've won. Accept your victory. Yeah, I kind of wish that we had pulled Karma, maybe, because pulling Karma before we hit that heal might have put us in a position where we could have eaten one more hit and then healed up to full and been fine. Okay. Then accept it. Why are you letting the timer tick down? Alright. It's okay. Patience is a virtue. I think I'll try them with Shadow Isles. They might be worth trying with Piltover as well. Like, I don't know why they're calculating it out. You have this. You have this. The game is over. I was conceding the point with the Shen emoji. I think most people see the Shen emoji and they think you're telling them you've won. That was not me conceding that I'd won. That was my good game right there. Okay. So yeah, didn't quite perform as well as we'd hoped. I do think there's room for some tuning. I think there's some cards that end up being overkill. And we do run into a place where we have so many cards that we can't draw cards anymore sometimes. So it's not necessarily maximum efficiency yet. It could either be tuned a little bit, or we could try mixing it with Shadow Isles. But that is luck of the draw. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, or if you have your own variants of it, share some deck codes, let people know what's up. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. Bye!